Shalom Yesharala. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, L'cha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to those Akim that preach the word in all truth and sincerity, along with the Israelite foreigner brothers that are like the heathens. But the line of outside goes back to the nation of Israel, which nation of Israel are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the prophecies and curses of Deuteronomy 28 chapter and throughout the Bible. So this is your buddy Yakar Map, the lesson. And today's lesson will be entitled, We Must Suffer the Straight Gate. I'm just going to go on some precepts and Lord willing, you brothers and you sisters out there be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shimon Shai. Because us, before entering into the kingdom of heaven, we must suffer the straight gate, which is, we understand that the straight gate will be Jacob's trouble, and, which Jacob's trouble represents, destruction, famine, pestilence, race wars, you know, FEMA concentration camps, and ultimately the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, and, Lord willing, we party elect, our Lord Yahweh Shai is going to deliver us from these sad perils that's about to come upon the world, man, on a large scale. So I just wanted to go into it and look that word straight. It says, we go to the second definition. It says, used in reference to a situation characterized by a specified degree of trouble or difficulty. It says a bad, difficult situation, a sorrow condition, difficulty. That's right, man. And although Yahweh Shai spoke about those things, when you go to Matthew 7 and verse 13, and it reads, it says, Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. And that's right, man. So we have to enter to the straight gate, which is a position of difficulty, man. Enduring hardness as a good soldier in this truth, having patience, wait on the Lord to destroy our adversaries, taking the being humble, but the broad out is the way is all these ways of life outside the truth that lead to destruction, such as being a Muslim, being a Christian, basically you taking the easy way out, man. Because being in truth, is hard. It's not easy, and but it's the Lord that gives us a spirit to withstand all that we go through, you know. It says, verse 14, it says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. And that's right, man. And that's the elect. The elect are the few that's going to find it, because they went through the straight gate, the Jacob's trouble, position of difficulty, and they didn't, no matter what, renounce Yahweh Shimon Shai, man. As it says in Romans 8 chapter, you know, and Yahweh Shai, he was quoting from Edris, which I'm going to go into that count a little one. And we go to Matthew the 8, it's like Romans the 8 chapter, in verse 35, it says, who shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Shai? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sleep for the slaughter. Nay, in all things we are moved and more than conquerors through him that loved us. This point, verse 38, it says, for I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, which principalities are demons, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh, which is in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our Lord, right? So, nothing's going to be able to separate, the elect from the love of having love for Yahweh Shai, man. And all those things, what Apostle Paul said, to sum it up, is Jacob's trouble. Tribulation, distress, persecution, because we all going to be persecuted for righteousness' sake, man. You know, we are going to go through the famine, but the Lord said that He's going to feed. He's going to have His servants eat and drink, His elect. You know, so the no matter what, the elect is not going to renounce Yahweh Shimon Shai due to persecution, due to having hard times. You know, and we go to Acts 14 in verse 26, and it reads, it says, no, Acts, yeah, it's like Acts 14:22. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples, which, look at that word, confirming. It's from the Greek word espatero, which means strengthen, you know, strengthen more, because this was after Apostle Paul was stoned to death, but the Lord put His spirit back in his body to go back and teach the word, which that was a miracle, man. You know, it says confirming, which means strengthening the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter to the kingdom of Yahweh. Right, so that tribulation is going to be Jacob's trouble, man. You know, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. You know, but Lord willing, we the elect, the Lord's going to put the spirit on us to endure. You know. Now we go to second Edges in the Apocrypha. Just wanted to make sure I get that. As I said earlier, Yahweh Shai quoted, the enter ye in the straight gate. He had quoted that from Edges, you know, which Edges, he was a Levite. He was a prophet during the Persian and Medes captivity, and he helped build um, you know, the second temple, you know. Um, it's the second Edges 7 and I start at verse 1. It says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before. And he said, which this angel was Uriel, the archangel, one of the archangels. It says, and he said unto me, up Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. Right. And parabolically, the sea represents the kingdom of heaven. It says verse 4, but put the case, the entrance was narrow and like a river, right, which is a straight gate. It says, who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad, right? So, if you're not going to be able to rule the kingdom of heaven, being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, if you don't go through Jacob's trouble, which the broad will be the kingdom of heaven, It says, there is also another thing, a city is builded, and upon a broad field, and is full of all good things, which, once again, the city is a kingdom. It says, the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. So, which that represents, the fire and deep water represents tribulation, you know, going through Jacob's trouble, just catching hell on all angles for this truth, you know. It says, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once, man, because we all got to work our own salvation. We're not gonna be able to save each other. We can't even save ourselves. So only one man, which represents, we all have to work out our own salvation with fear and trembling, as it says in Philippians 2:12. It says, the word for my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Right, so that's what we got to do. We have to work our own salvation with fear and trembling, man, because the Lord's going to judge us according to our works. Yahweh Shimon Shah is going to judge every man according to his works individually. We're not going to be judged as a group. It won't be judged. Each of us is going to be judged individually, man. You know. So I just wanted to get that real quick. But going at verse 9 says, Second Ezra 7 and 9 says, if this city now were given to a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass a danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance, right? So if you don't go through Jacob's trouble, you know, how are you going to receive the inheritance, which is the kingdom, you know? So we all must suffer, man. But jumping down to verse 17, it said, then answer I and say, O Lord, that bears rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but the ungodly should perish, right? Because the righteous is going to inherit the kingdom to be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, according to Romans 8 and 17. But the ungodly, the wicked Israelites, the two-thirds that refuse to repent, they're going to perish. They're going to be destroyed, and the lake of fire, man, when the missiles come and destroy America, Babylon the Great. It says, nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things. See? So those straight things is difficult things, Jacob's trouble, to sum it all up, because it says in 1 Peter 4, I believe it says, the righteous shall scarcely be saved, which means scarcely means barely, just barely making out of it, man. So that means that the righteous is going to be going through it in Jacob's trouble. But the difference between the elect and the non-elect in Jacob's trouble is the Lord's going to deliver the elect out of all their troubles. The Lord's not going to forsake his men, that put their trust in him. It says, in hope for wide, nevertheless the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. Right, we hope for the kingdom, Lord willing. That's why we always say, Lord willing. It says, for they have done wickedly, have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wider. Right, so the two-thirds of Israel, they going to suffer Jacob's trouble, but they're not going to see the kingdom, because they're going to have to be born in the kingdom by the loins of the elect, because they two-thirds is not making it on the side, you know. So, got one more precept. I forgot to get this precept earlier, but this is Luke 12 and 50, because Yahweh Shai even said himself, it says, but I have a baptizing to be baptized with, and how I am straitened till it be accomplished, man. So basically, Yahweh Shai was saying he going through it. He was going through it, man. And how much, if Yahweh Shai went through it, which is a master, then how much more than us, man, his servants? Because we are servants of Yahweh Shai. And the Lord said that the servant shall be as his Lord, you know? Let's get that, see, trying to find it real quick. Yeah, this is Matthew 10, verse, I start at 24, says, the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It says, it is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as the Lord, right? So we're supposed to imitate Yahweh Shai, be like Yahweh Shai, man, you know? It says, if they have called the master of the house of Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household, right? Because the wicked Israelites, the scribes and Pharisees, they was saying that our Lord Yahweh Shai was casting out devils in the name of Beelzebub, which Beelzebub is a Philistine deity, which is a false god, you know? But so basically, if they call on Yahweh Shai, Beelzebub, basically a demon, how much more than us? So they gonna call us the same way too, because we coming in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, by way of the word, the doctrine, man, you know. So, but I just want to get how, Yahweh Shai, he was going through straight too. He was going through difficult times, man, and he was the son of the heavenly Father Yahweh, so how much more than us? Of course, our same affliction is not going to be the same extent of Yahweh Shai, but, nonetheless, we all going to go through it, man, you know. So, yeah, I just want to make a quick lesson on that. We must suffer the straight gate, no, you know, No, a bad times is coming, man. Troubling times is coming. But and off on this precept, the Lord got us, Akim. You know, this is Sirach 2:10 says, "Look out the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that call upon him?" Man, that's right, man. So, Lord, we're not gonna be confounded, Akim, because we trust in Yahweh Shemon Shai. And the Lord's not going to forsake us, man. And we must believe in that humbly, speaking. So, yeah, the Lord one was edified. And so with that, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Mechak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Hopefully Akim. That's preach the word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom.